What is up, my beautiful people? You are very welcome along to Wednesday evening's Anfield Agenda news roundup, where we have a whole load of stuff to get through. It is finally starting to take shape, our summer transfer window, and we're going to be telling you the positions we absolutely want to improve on, a deal that we haven't heard the end of, like I told you many times, and so many other bits and pieces over the course of the next few minutes. Just want to again remind you about the new Anfield Agenda podcast. A recent episode came out on Tuesday, and I am recording with David Lynch, so that will be out on podcast form as well tomorrow. Just search Anfield Agenda on whatever your favourite podcast platform is, and let us know your thoughts on the audio-only version of some Anfield Agenda content. Right, so Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon, according to Luke Edwards of The Telegraph, was telling his teammates while away with England at the Euros that he wanted to move to Liverpool and that it was going to happen. Not only that, but his representatives desperately tried to revive the move in late June and were unable to do so. I seen something, well actually I didn't see it, it was sent to me yesterday, a bit of a snidey post from a journalist that covers Newcastle, saying that Liverpool aggregators were desperately trying to keep this Anthony Gordon story alive. Nope. It's just that Newcastle made it very clear he was surplus to requirements, and the backtracking, backpedaling and apologising from Newcastle is not going to change that fact. The player knows that at the first opportunity Newcastle were willing to throw him under the bus to make some money to free up their PSR problems. That won't be forgotten about by the player, and the silliness of Newcastle to just sign him on a 3.5-year deal is already starting to cause some problems, because now he's inside the final 2 years of his contract and he still wants to move to Liverpool. So even if he signs a new deal at Newcastle, I would imagine there'll be a release clause in there, and I really don't think we've heard the end of Liverpool and Anthony Gordon. There's another part about that to come later in the video, but until then, let's talk a little bit about Michael Edwards. So this piece here from The Athletic said that Michael Edwards has believed, as always, in the importance of ignoring the outside noise and bringing in players when the feeling within the club is that they can add significant value. I've got no problem with any of that. In fact, I'm over the moon to hear so many journalists or see so many journalists writing about central midfield and central defence as two areas that Liverpool know they need to strengthen. But this is where I'd like to push back a little bit, respectfully. If Arne Slot wants to wait till after the pre-season tour to assess the squad, fair enough. But we've already acknowledged openly that we know two positions that he's already not happy with and that we know needs to be filled. And that is central midfield and central defence. So there's no need to wait till after the tour. And I think that that's just the club maybe just managing expectations a little bit. I think we may get a signing sooner than the end of the pre-season tour, and I'm going to try and paint that picture for you over the next few minutes. So also, according to The Athletic, they said the business may happen before the end of the tour if the right opportunity presents itself. Edwards won't sign average players just for the sake of it. Arne Slot wants to fully assess his squad, and that the arguments are for an elite midfielder. And that is the exact words that I want to hear. Elite is what we need. Elite is what we should be aiming for. And I agree with not signing anyone for the sake of it. I don't think any Liverpool fans with any sensibility to them are looking to sign players, any players. It has to be the right players, but it also has to be done as quickly as possible to give us as much time as possible. So Chris Bascombe was being given a bit of a contract update on the situation with Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah. He said the indications are that all parties are biding their time. Salah and Virgil are aware they remain fundamental to Liverpool's plans this season, and there are more financial benefits from leaving on a free transfer. What does that mean? I don't know. They know their worth. Is their worth the same in Liverpool's eyes? That remains to be seen. The talk around Trent is that £300,000 a week 4 or 5 year deal. I expect that to be confirmed over the next couple of weeks. But this one, I'll let you read that how you want. I think it's certainly painting a picture of it being less likely, but I would still expect Virgil to sign, but I never really thought we would get an agreement with Mo. So any centre-back that Liverpool sign will be one to challenge for a senior position, not instantly assume it. So I don't know if they're saying that Liverpool are looking to buy a 19, 20-year-old defender who will eventually get there and maybe over the course of a season be experienced enough, playing with Virgil, playing with Jarrell, playing with Ibu. I don't know. But again, I'm just happy that we're targeting the positions that every Liverpool fan knows that we need. Those positions are central defence and central midfield. Again, from Chris Bascom, the area glaringly in need of improvement is central midfield. Slot sees the number 6 as the critical component of his side. Arna, I've done the work for you, bro. Just go out there and bring in Ederson from Atalanta. 45 million pounds. We'll all be happy. Job done, and you can thank me later, sir. Right, the great unknown, according to Chris Bascom, is Salah and Van Dijk's case, is whether the Saudis will look to tempt Liverpool with game-changing mega bids, or will they lose the players for free? I've always said the same thing. My priority would always be to bring money into the club. It doesn't matter who they are. I don't want players leaving for free. So in an ideal world, we'd bring in money for any player that isn't going to extend at the club. And that certainly does include Salah and Van Dijk. I just don't want players leaving on frees. It happens too often at the club. We've said this before. 8 of the last 12 players that have departed Liverpool have all departed without Liverpool receiving a transfer fee. And quite frankly, I don't think that's good enough for a club that knows we need to recoup as much money as possible to strengthen. I did promise you I'd revisit the situation with Anthony Gordon, and Chris Bascom has said Liverpool rebuffed Newcastle's approach to discuss a deal for Anthony Gordon in June, even though under different circumstances that would interest the club. I've told you guys for the longest time, Anthony Gordon and Liverpool are something we haven't heard the end of. Liverpool have sights on the player have sights on Liverpool, and if this can happen for the right number at the right time, it will be a fantastic addition to our forward line, whether it's this summer or next summer. I do think there is legs to the story with Anthony Gordon and Liverpool. Just when we will make that move remains to be seen. So, Anfield sector have posted again with Chris Bascom say the area in need of improvement is number 6. Arne Slot sees this as a critical component of a side. And the last piece that I have for you today is probably the best piece of all, and it comes again from Footy Insider. This said, Liverpool are set for a late window signing blitz. The club are working on multiple deals to bring in a centre-back, a winger and a defensive midfielder before the window shuts. This makes me very happy because that's exactly what we need. And I've said all along, once we get those positions strengthened before the end of the window and preferably before the start of the season, I'm absolutely happy with that. So let me know if you guys are. There are signs starting to pour towards an acceptance that Salah will soon abdicate his Anfield throne, said Ian Doyle. Again, we're stating the obvious there. I've told everybody all along exactly how we've seen this window playing out with regards to Virgil, Mohamed and Trent, and it was never an indication to me that Mohamed Salah was going to sign the new deal, despite all the promises that Liverpool were going to be sitting down and negotiating. I didn't think it was ever going to be feasible because of the riches that are going to be on offer when he leaves on a free contract. So that one, I think we're going to end up biting the bullet on and not taking a transfer fee unless something drastic happens this summer. So that is it, my friends, for this evening's video. But just remember, we will be live tonight, 8:45, with the Late Night Agenda, where I'll be going through all of your questions, topics you want to discuss. I will be having an interview with David Lynch in about an hour's time, maybe 2 hours' time. So that will also be going out as a video tomorrow morning, and a podcast version will be going out on all the podcast platforms. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you head off, and thank you so much for watching. Oh, and the tickets for the Liverpool show, they're selling out quickly, so if you're thinking of coming, I wouldn't hang around. Cardiff show, some availability left. Both of those are coming up in just 10 days' time, and you can get your tickets with a link in the description. Thanks for watching. Look forward to catching up with you later on. Have a good one.